Our destination?
We shop till we drop.
Let's go for a ride.
Welcome to Girls Trip. Today we're talking about our shopping experience, where we basically took over the Bloomingdales dressing room.
Took over.
Yep.
We
pretended
a
like
total nuisance.
we
I
pretend
think.
like we deserved this
we
type
were like,
of treatment.
excuse me,
Yeah.
we'd like to put our
well,
clothes
not
here.
us. Lauren did. She was like, "Excuse me, I'm going to need our own fitting room."
At one point, Lauren had like 5, pairs of pants here, and is just walking across.
There was like a
there she is.
fitting room closed for construction. Lauren was like, "We'll take that one." I was like, "Okay."
Listen, okay. I took the assignment seriously.
You went hardcore.
And was actually trying to find things.
Yep.
And then I think the lady was like, "Oh, we cannot put you 3 with all of the general population."
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to open this side for you, and you guys just stay over
Right
there, which worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
But yes, if you're with us yesterday, you know that we took all the information that we gained during our color analysis and body type session and tried to put it into action.
Yes.
Tried.
A key word. Tried. So we chose Bloomingdales simply because
I think
of
it was a good
variety.
choice. Yeah. Good choice.
It had a lot of options for the 3 of us to be able to go through because we wanted to stay in one spot. I think we're going to put up some photos of our dressing room shenanigans for you to see. We were really trying to focus not on things that we would necessarily wear. We were for sure not focusing on budget. We weren't even looking at the cost of things, or even sometimes matching.
Yeah.
We were in some cases purely trying on things for color.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just to see ourselves, maybe in a slightly new palette that we wouldn't normally wear. And for other things, we were trying on purely for shape to see, how we felt about that. So I kind of went in and had like a running list in my mind of things that I was looking for that came up. I was looking for blazers. I was looking for jeans that maybe have a different shape that I wouldn't normally wear. Jewel tones. And then things that maybe had a little bit more volume or interest on top to even out my triangle. My triangle shape.
It's like a gorgeous triangle, though.
It's like the most beautiful triangle we've ever seen.
Miles was like, he's like, triangles are the strongest shape.
Okay, we don't need to get into this, but apparently my booty is a triangle shape.
Love it.
Oh,
Okay.
so it's the strongest shape.
And my husband reminds me of it maybe every night.
he was like, think of the pyramids.
And he's
See
like,
the
what?
pyramids.
And he's like, well, this is a guy thing. It has to be. He's like, no, triangles are the strongest shape. It's fine. I'm like, so maybe they're either
I gotta
spending...
try to get Artie to say that at some point. Be
Something
like,
about you. Yeah. Either they're spending too much time together or they need more time. I don't know.
yeah,
Which
so
is what it
somehow
is.
that was meant to be a compliment. But I
Yeah.
was just like, okay.
Okay.
It's definitely not a compliment for me. Your butts are not supposed to look like triangles. Even I know this, okay? They're supposed to look like hearts, okay? Or peaches on the emojis. Mine is not a peach shape or a heart shape. So
I'm just going to send you randomly triangles.
Triangles.
I'll know exactly
You'll
what
know
it
what we're
means
talking
because I
about.
get them daily from your
Yes.
brother.
What if I just sent a triangle to him?
Yeah, we got it. You'd be like, that's Joy's butt.
That's right. We have really gotten way off the rails.
Joy,
Body
I
guy.
mean, Lauren is this. Lauren is
That's
beautiful.
Illuminati. So
We've lost it. You know what? Just stop watching that. No.
Come back.
Okay, what were you looking for?
I think I came into this thinking about the colors mostly. So I was like, all right, anything I don't wear, go for it. So I was looking for like the bright blues, really bright reds,
Yes,
greens.
you were.
Yes, I did.
I don't actually know if she was looking for them,
We
but
threw
we
it at
found
her.
them. We were like, oh, Rebecca, I think you just passed that.
Excuse me. Remember that
you
pink
tried.
dress with the ruffles?
That was so cute.
There will be a picture of that.
It was so cute.
Yeah, I really did try. I mean, as Lauren was saying, I was just grabbing it because I'm like, Faith said I have to try this.
Yeah, Faith said it.
I did try to find like the dress she was talking about, but they didn't have that like structure, kind of a rectangular like slip dress. So I did not find that. But yeah, I was just going more with the colors. And then I did try a combo of like jeans and the top because I'm like, that's normally what I'm wearing. And I thought that was cute. But it was mostly the colors that I wanted, just bright. And actually I did... No, I don't think I got any neutrals, but she did say like blacks and whites and navy, but I'm like, I wear that.
You have those a lot.
I think I did grab one item that was like that. And you guys were like, that's the usual. So yeah, it was a fun time.
So the thing with you that I thought was super fun is that with all these colors looked fantastic on you, but you were just like, oh, but I just go towards like the darker or like basically all Christmas colors. So that's what you wanted. The clothes that come out at Christmas time. Like that's what you want. And we were like, Rebecca, you can still wear those. Just wear them October through January. And then wear these colors.
There's a timeline, okay?
Because you do go for like a darker, deeper color. But
jewel tones. I kind of go towards that.
But I think it was fun to see just like your range become wider, and you see like, oh, like this is not normally a red. You would wear like a wine like red or like a deep Merlot color red versus like the cherry red. Yeah, but it looked so good on you.
That's totally true because it opened my eyes to be like, yeah, I have this spectrum of color. I'm not just in this little area, which I feel like we all are to an extent. You know, you have colors that work with you and that don't. But I don't need to be hanging out here. I can experiment.
I think it was the way we did it with the three of us was really good because we forced each other to try things that we wouldn't normally try. Yeah. So if I'm by myself, I'm not trying any of this crap. Like I'm buying stuff that my eye immediately goes to, and that's it. And knowing that this was an intentional effort to do new stuff. That's what made it. That's what like we didn't go in thinking we were going to spend all this money and get like all these clothes. It was I just want to see because I'm not going to do this on my own. I need my friends to help me do it. So
and some of the dresses,
10 out of 10 experience.
I would have never bought, but I'm like the color's right. Let me put the color and just see how it looks. So yeah, agreed.
Yeah. You didn't know what you were looking for. It was like a half hour later.
She's like, where is this app? I was so upset.
Rebecca and I are like, have so many hangers on our back, and Joy's like, I think I got one thing.
This was what my issue was. My issue was I thought I found a lot of stuff that I normally would go to anyway, like a lot of it. And I was like, I don't want that. And on the total opposite end, so much stuff that I knew was not in my color wheelhouse because there was a lot of springs stuff out. So I was like getting super frustrated. So I was like, let me try different fits because that's probably what I'll go to. However, Lauren and I do share some of the same colors. So at one point, Lauren was just like throwing stuff off of her and throwing it at me. Like, try this. So I got most of my, like, I can't believe I actually like the way this looks on me from the ones that you gave, specifically the deep browns.
Yes.
I was like, whoa, I do not go for this color. I feel like it would probably totally wash me out. And you both were like, no,
it was great. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
We're not doing that today. but yeah, I think for me, it's what I just said before. I'm just so like in my comfort zone of like navy, blue, black, gray. And I just, high-waisted and like shirt and done. I don't want to be bothered. So for me, I think this new like year of turning 32 and all that and like going like to Europe, I want to try and just get like new stuff. Like that's hence the blazer. I don't wear like blazers. That's not my jam, but why not? Yeah. Like do it. Go out of your comfort zone a little bit. Yeah. So that's what and
you found a really beautiful like neutral colored dress that still had color in it. And I feel like did you say that it wasn't something that you'd be drawn to, or it was like the style you were not sure would work?
I knew that the fit would be good for this specific dress, this aqua dress, right? It was by Aqua. It was by Aqua, but it was like this white and like emerald green, and like there was some like gold stitching on it. It was gorgeous. I loved it. Did not leave with it. It was very expensive. It was so cute. The reason why I didn't think it would work is because of the top. This is maybe a whole nother issue, but I have a hard time fitting tops. And Rebecca was like, wait, no, we can adjust the straps. And I was like, what? I didn't know that the straps adjusted. And when she adjusted the straps, I was like, no, that would work.
No. Which is why you should bring a friend who can see behind you.
You need to bring friends. That's the moral of the story. So yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah. I feel like for me, the colors were fairly fun and easy. Like it was easy to just like walk through the store, grab the colors. And I'm already drawn to the jewel tones. Like I like them on me. So it wasn't like shocking of like, I don't know if I feel confident in this. It was hard to find because of it being spring.
Time of the
and
year.
there's like so many pastels and stuff out. So it was more difficult to find. I had to go to like the evening gown section to find those, which those were fun to try on anyway. But with color, I realized that I almost have to practice more because once I moved out of solids, trying to determine as I was like glancing at patterns, I'm like, is that jewel tone? Is it not?
Okay.
I think it's like mixing palettes. Would this be good on me? Would it not? Then I'm like,
that totally happens with patterns. They'll like start to go, here's this color, and wait, but this color, and you're like, that doesn't work, but this works. So you're like, does this work?
So it was very hard to like make a judgment call of like, so I pretty much stuck to solids to just like see. And I did find a couple of colors that definitely worked better or not for me. Like I'm like, okay, yes, jewel tones, but like these jewel tones look a lot better on me than these, types of color. So that was helpful too. The harder stuff for me was definitely getting into the shape stuff because I have never shopped through that lens before.
Okay. That was fun.
Ever. I've always just been like, whatever my eye's drawn to, that's what I'm gonna.
She would like
try
open
on.
the door, and we were just like,
What is that?
it was so fun.
So some of it was like overly dramatic. Like I would never really do that. But then I found like a more realistic version. Maybe that I'm like, okay, I actually would, and I see what Faith was saying about those
Balance
proportions
and
creating balance. I would say if I had been shopping to really buy clothes. The way we did it was not it.
It was too overwhelming.
Because it was
No,
so
absolutely not.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like I would have
much.
needed a whole day
Yeah.
just for jeans.
Yeah.
Because like I ultimately didn't find, in the like 6 pairs that I grabbed, none of them were it. Like I didn't find another style that I felt like worked for me. So I was definitely trying to like do way too many things
Totally.
Yeah.
at once. And it's trying on clothes is exhausting.
You're sweating.
We're
You're
sweating.
like, is it hot in here?
Yeah. Like, oh my
Are you
God.
sweating? Yeah.
And if I were really shopping to buy, I would have like brought a different pair of shoes.
Yes.
I would have brought like also a strapless bra. I would have brought just like a neutral or grabbed a neutral like camisole or something. So because sometimes I'm like wearing a t-shirt and I'm trying to see how these like dress pants look or like whatever. And it's hard to like get the whole visual. So I would definitely go armed with that stuff.
That's like a Saturday all day event.
If I were
That's not what we did.
were going to look to actually buy things. I did purchase this blazer. Which, if you had watched when we got our analysis in Faith, I was very poo-pooing the blazer.
Yes.
Very much so.
Very much so. But I mean, it's like being thrown in my face everywhere I turn. And I'm like, I know there's truth there. I just like didn't really want it to be the truth.
Yeah.
It's
But
so cute.
It is. Really
It's just
good.
when I tried it on, and of course I'm like, I ended up with leopard. I'm like, this is not what I wanted to find. I definitely.
She didn't say you have to stop being yourself. She
No,
just said
no. But
add
I
this.
wanted a few more like classic pieces
sure.
that could be paired with more things,
things,
and
yeah.
worn more.
I
Like
got you.
can't wear a leopard blazer twice in a week. Like people are going to remember that.
People are gonna be like, she thinks she's a leopard.
Yeah,
she
thinks she's a
she
leopard.
is now morphing into one.
So this is more of like a special piece. But as soon as I put it on, I was like, I love how this fits. And it gives me structure in the shoulders without feeling restrictive.
Like
And
you have like shoulder pads
like
on.
just in the arms. Like I don't
Yep.
even know what material this is, but yeah, everything about its construction, the way it fits me, and the material. I feel like I can still move. Whereas
Yeah.
other blazers that I've
You're
had
like,
in the past, I'm like,
stuck.
I can't even like
Yep.
bend my
Yep.
arms, and I feel so stiff, and I don't want to wear it all day. So I mean, I probably tried on like 5
had a
or
lot.
6 different blazers, different styles, different lengths, all that kind of stuff. So I felt like this was kind of like one of those moments where you're like, if I don't buy this,
Yeah.
I'm going to regret it
Yep.
because
Yeah.
then I'm
You're
going to
gonna
try
think
on
about it
20 more
all
blazers and they're not going to fit the same way. It also really worked out because this is definitely more of a probably fall item, so it was on clearance.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
getting into the spring,
the
so
win.
that's the time to buy those pieces. But yeah, the shape is a lot harder to start thinking about.
Yeah.
Like it takes brain power when you're shopping to really seek those things out. And I'm sure it becomes more like natural when you get in a rhythm and you do it more and more.
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, it's body day, so it's easy to talk about it today, but I find shape more difficult through like your seasons of life that you go through, because you just get used to seeing something on the rack and saying, I know that that'll fit me. Whereas a year later, because of whatever different phase of life you're in, that could be totally not the case anymore. So our bodies just fluctuate so much. I think that the fit or the shape of stuff, it changes so much. I don't know. Like your skin is your skin.
Yeah.
That's not going to change. Your hair is your hair. Like for the most part, we're not going to be like changing skin tones and colors that look good, but fit is different. Fit is, and it can mess with you.
We're
It
not-
can mess with you emotionally too.
You don't go shopping like from a young age, even, you know, in your teenage years, thinking that you're going for the look. I will like that color and I want this. So you only start to think about that, you know, in your maybe 20s, maybe like now. Well, I didn't think about that beforehand. I was just like, does this fit? Great. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
So it is a whole new training of your brain, or an exercise going shopping.
It's an
and being
exercise,
like, would that work? And you got to try it on. Maybe
Yeah.
you really have to find slowly but surely what works for you.
I've definitely gotten caught up in the buying stuff online that would have been my fit at 21. And then I get it and I try it on and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? So I think overall online shopping, I'm trying to do away with it, even though there is a pair of jeans in the Old Navy shopping cart right now that I really want, but I am trying to do away with it more, because I do find myself being aggravated more and more often trying stuff on that comes in the mail. I think it's important to go.
There's something to say about putting it on, looking at yourself versus imagining it, whatever, putting a picture of it just is not the same.
Or if you are going to order clothes online, I think you have to do it with the intention that you are going to make returns.
You're going to return it,
and like buy it in 3 sizes,
Yeah.
or you know, buy 4 different styles so you can try on, because it's definitely like defeating when you buy one thing. You're like having that excitement and anticipation for it to come,
totally,
and then you put it on and you're like, this is not what I want it to be. And either you're like bummed because you're returning it, or you're like, I'm not going to return it because I know myself. So now
wasted
I
money. Yeah.
either wasted money, or I'm going to try to make this work, but I'm never going to feel good about the fit of it, or it's going to sit in my closet for 2 years until I throw it away, or, you know, whatever that is.
Yeah,
so
totally.
if you sort of like force yourself to have to make the return, then, you know, because there is something nice. And I think a lot of stylists say that, of like trying something on in your home versus trying something on.
Sure, yeah.
Where you're like, you'll take your time more, you're more comfortable. You
can try different
You can
shoes.
grab different shoes. Yeah, things like that.
Oh, I don't know if this is Stacey London. Oh, I'm sorry, Stacey.
Stacey London.
I'm sorry, Stacey. This is
Throwback.
not you. I don't think it is. But she's the only one coming to me. Someone said, if you don't love it in the fitting room, like love it, you are certainly not going to love it at home. So you have to like love it if you're going to buy it. So if you're in the fitting room and you're like, yeah, it's all right, it's okay, you are not going to get beyond that once you take it home. So that's stuck with me too, and trying stuff on.
Who's Stacey London?
What not to wear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never knew her name. Great. I know who she is.
That is a throwback.
That is a throwback. Loved that show.
Why aren't we talking about that show more this
I
week?
know.
What not to wear?
That show, though, while we were talking about like all of this cleaning, I thought of that show, and I'm like, that they messed those people up though. They had to do a lot of emotional.
They
That
scarred
was
them. Traumatic.
But then they came back and like, I think they revived the show.
Oh yes,
And they were much kinder.
softer about it. They're like,
In the
I
early
know.
2000s, people didn't care. You had America's Next Top Model. You had What Not
American
to Wear.
Idol.
American Idol. People were.
They have really rebranded themselves.
People
to be
were.
nice.
they were
raw.
like, throw it out, get rid of it. I don't care how sentimental it is. Doesn't
Totally
look good on you.
different.
Get it out.
Get it out. You're ugly. Get out of here. Like, it was bad.
We're like, we're gonna make you look cute.
Yeah, it was not good.
That is so funny.
I feel like I have definitely been guilty of settling for like poor fit of things. Just because I'm like, well, I'm not going to look further, or like, it's not perfect, but I'll just make it work. And, you know.
Have you ever thought of like investing in like finding a tailor to go to and be like, yeah, I'm going to like bring him like, what are the what is realistically if you doing something like that?
Low.
Yeah.
To be honest. Well, first of all, it is shockingly hard to find a good tailor. Like, I think you have to get a recommendation from someone, because I've gone to a couple of different like cleaners who do tailoring, and it's like hit or miss.
Yeah,
like
totally,
you're
yeah.
not sure exactly
They're
what
either a protege,
yeah,
or they've never
Yeah.
picked up a needle and thread. So
and
yeah,
that's
it's so
with
true.
like the most basic, where I'm getting something hemmed.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could take something to them and be like, make this fit me better, because I don't know what would happen there if they can't do a straight hem sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that's like step number one. Number two is, it is really expensive nowadays to get
I
something
know.
So
hemmed.
expensive.
Yep.
So especially if you're getting something like really tailored to fit you nicely, it's probably a piece that you're investing in, meaning it's more money than you would typically spend on something. Then you could be doubling the cost of that piece by having it tailored. So you're like well into hundreds of dollars here
Yeah, and
on
you're not
that piece.
tailoring a cheap item.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
tailoring an item that could last you like for a really long time, but that just means it's
So I'm not
more
against
money.
it. I think that's, if you think about it logically, that's totally the way to go.
Yeah.
But until, I mean, if you are local and have a great tailor, please let us know.
Drop it in the comments.
That would be the first hurdle for me to get over. But yeah, I think that I have sort of looked at my closet. I've realized through these last couple of weeks, sort of as like a little bit of a safety blanket, that the quantity is a safety blanket, because I like to have options. I like to be able to switch things out and, whatnot. And so even if there's stuff in there where I'm like, I don't want to wear that, I don't particularly like that, I don't think that fits me great, I don't necessarily get rid of it, because having more clothes in my closet makes me feel like
A little
I have
better. Yeah.
options.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is a really silly, funny comparison, but I realize I also kind of had that philosophy with my kitchen pantry. Stay with me. Stay with me.
Love to hear this.
At least it wasn't like with boys.
Yeah. I was like,
Just one for me. Where I kind of realized my pantry philosophy was, it's better to just have stuff in my pantry.
Just in case I need
Just
it.
in case.
Yeah.
That way I can always go grab something and pull a meal together and cook it.
I feel like I grew up like that. Like my mom just happened to have everything
Yes,
that
my
she
mom
needed
too.
for whatever dinner that she decided to make that night. And I just thought that happens when you get older and you have a family of your own and need to make dinner. That is so not my life. So I would actually, I'm interested in this. My problem is when stuff is expired, like, and you're like, oh shoot, do I use this? Is it really expired? Is that is that just a myth? Or like, how do you maintain
Well, I realize
that?
that's not really my style of actually like cooking and preparing meals. Like typically, yes, that all sits in the pantry, but then I'm deciding that week what I'm making for my family, and I'm getting those groceries for those meals that week. Occasionally, yes, I'm pulling something out of my pantry. I have my staples, like always my flour, my rice, like whatever. But then as I did my whole like pantry clean out, and I'm like, this is expired. This is expired.
Yep.
Like, I don't even know why I have this. I will never use this type of thing. And then, not that it was empty, but it was much emptier when I was done with that. And I have found in the last couple of weeks of cooking with this pantry that I am being so much more like conscious and aware of what I'm using, because I know exactly what's in my pantry.
Yeah.
And because there's so much less of it, and I'm going to use those things. And it's also forcing me to not go and just get more groceries. So I'm like, I know I can make something with what I
what
have
you have.
here.
So
That's
overall,
good.
good experience.
that's
So I'm
good.
like, if I can
Editing
apply that to my closet,
Right.
maybe having less is not necessarily bad because it won't just be this overwhelming sea of
Yep.
what
Yeah.
to wear. It'll
Yep.
be like, these are the pieces. Because sometimes I'm going through my closet and I'm just like, skip. Skip.
Yep.
Why am I skipping over those things? Something about it I don't
Yeah.
love. So,
But you like that if all your other clothes burned, you
Right.
had something to
Yeah.
wear.
You're just
so
like,
I've
I
always
wanna
been
know.
afraid of having less in there, but my pantry is maybe opening me up to a new
love it.
lifestyle.
Whole
I love
nother-
it.
whole nother
Guys,
area.
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
To grow and to inspire you to grow. This is growth.
Yes.
This is growth.
So grab your friends.
Yes.
Take over a dressing room
Yeah, do it.
in a department store. It'll be lots of fun.
Yep.
See what lessons are awaiting you in your pantry or any other closet in
closet.
your
What else in your
house.
house can give you a lesson?
You never know what epiphanies are waiting for you in a mess behind closed doors in your house.
Somebody tweet that. Somebody do we tweet still? Exit.
No, exit,
Somebody exit.
exit.
Somebody exit.
It's gone
We've
now.
never sounded older. Oh my goodness. Okay. Most importantly, don't forget to enjoy the view wherever the ride takes you.